My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best. And that is not arrogance, that is confidence.
If you grind hard, man, I ain't got time to worry about your monkey ass. I ain't got time to worry about you, man. Because tomorrow, I got to go back to the grind. And tomorrow, I got to go back to the grind again, and again, and again, and again. I don't have time to put you into the hate bank. There's no hate. It's all filtered out, man, through the grind. People don't get it. There's great joy in the grind. Great joy in the suffering. It totally cleanses your body out, man, of any kind of hate. Makes you grow up.
People are just too quick to say, oh, Conor's picking what he wants, Conor's doing what he wants.
I am picking what I want, and I am doing what I want. When you can rack up $400 million in revenue for the company in back-to-back events, you can do whatever the f you want. I'm living the whatever the f I want life. That's the life I live. Whatever I want, whenever I want.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Is there any limit to your ambition?
No.
Or any limit to what you think you can achieve?
No. Well, no. Because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I say I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you would.
Yes.
No, you would.
Yes, I would.
No, you would.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I could do anything.
You need to exercise deep into his 90s.
What it's all about.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline. You ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline. Because you give up on the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
But the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, you know, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally. It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad. But you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving?
Yeah, at some point, you gotta be tired of not being number one. You have to be, and you gotta play angry. And you're always gonna have haters, and haters are like, well, damn man, how many movies are you gonna make, or how much shit are you gonna do? Like, you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my ambition. Of course, why not? I could do it. Yeah, I love what I do. And not only that, but in what world do we not work every day? Doesn't mean, it's just like you guys in the off season. You gotta work every day. It doesn't end. The key for me, what I think one of the keys is, remember where you came from, keep that shit in the front of your mind, and when shit goes bad and it goes sideways, a lot of shit does, you're getting booed out of the building, or you're coming through this injury, or people are writing you off, oh, you guys ain't gonna make it, you know, any of that shit. You gotta keep it in here. And it really has to, it should drive you. It should.
Every business, I have 5 companies now. We'll do 100 million this year. I started every one of those companies with no money. Zero money, man. Just hustle and grit and courage. I've called on people I didn't want to be with. I've done things I didn't want to do, okay? It is not about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality.
Is that when it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
You know, I had to convince myself that I'm gonna make it. You know, regardless of how people felt at that time. And what it does is it makes you feel like, or it made me feel like, there's gonna be points that people are gonna mistake my confidence for arrogance, because they don't understand the process I went through and how much I had to believe in myself in order to make these things happen. I feel like you can will yourself into a good space. Things that are meant to happen will. And if you believe in yourself enough, you can help yourself learn. You can inspire yourself in different ways where you can actually discipline yourself, to the point that you can become good enough.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
Okay.
Plan B sucks.
All right.
Think about that for a second. Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls because he was committed to plan A, not plan B. Oprah Winfrey became the queen of all media because she was committed to plan A, not plan B.
Okay.
Plan B sucks.
And it's like, because everybody has dreams, and as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. And people will help you, and when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe.
Is life suffering? There's a part of it that has to be about suffering. And people hate it when I post about suffering, this whole new kindler, gentler, soft-ass fucking world, they just fucking, oh God, this is horrible. Every bad fucking thing I went through in my life, the 2 heart surgeries, all the name calling, everything I went through. If you learn how to flip that motherfucker on top of his head and say, hang on, there's so much power in this fucking thing. And if you look at life as it is a trial ground, a testing ground for where you need to belong, where you need to go. Suffering is a fact of life. It's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it like, okay, motherfucker, you're testing me now. I get it.
I felt when we stared down, I felt his right hand was twitching, which was a subtle tell for me. He is ready to unload that right hand, and I feel that could be a downfall for him. If he lets that right hand go, I will not be there. I simply enter the way I enter, and that is enough. They either overextend or they shrink away, but either way it is not good for them. I will create traps and dead space inside that octagon, and I will walk him into that dead space, but all of a sudden he will be in danger.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing, and then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
It could have been great.
I never forget one time I was running by a graveyard when I was fucking just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these fucking moments of like, it's crazy, man, of just thought. Cause I'm always by myself and I'm always in deep fucking thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there fucking just are so upset with how you lived your life and fucking just regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro. Don't die like this. So people wonder where this shit comes from me. It comes from such deep thought of trying to see what this is all about. What is this life all about? What am I all about? Why am I here? You know, I had to find purpose.
You know why they don't like me? because I win. And sometimes I'm like, damn, well, we want to see him lose once, or we want to see something happen, because all he do is win. This is what God wanted. Yeah. Mayweather fought Pacquiao when he was over the hill. Well, I'm older than Pacquiao. And then they say, oh, he fought De La Hoya when De La Hoya was over the hill. We both was in our 30s at the same time. You know, then they say, oh, he didn't fight Canelo at the right time. Well, I was almost 40. Canelo is the same age that Devin Haney is at right now. These are the things that, you know, that these media and these people write about. When y'all write, y'all really got to know the sport. And I'll say this on record. Nobody knows more about boxing than Floyd Mayweather.
The game you're playing is not success. The game you're playing is not money. The only thing that matters in life is what you think about yourself when you're by yourself and have nothing but your own thoughts. If in that moment you feel good about who you are, who you're becoming, what you're capable of, and what you're willing to do to make a better future for yourself, those you care about, and other people around you, you will love your life.
The other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting. Because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do? Why not do that? Maybe you could justify your wretched existence to yourself that way. I think you could, because you're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful than you think. I mean, God only knows what you are in the final analysis. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. It's like, how far could you take that? If you stopped wasting time, and if you stopped lying, and if you oriented yourself to the highest possible good that you could conceive of, and you committed to that, how much good could you do? Well, I would say, why don't you find out?
Life isn't always so fresh or so easy. But what's inside of there? A lot of groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, you know, your fruits and vegetables and stuff, and all that stuff, man, very perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trial. Use it or lose it. And if you don't use it, then your investment in that product, you don't quite reap all the reward of that. So that's a little metaphor, I think, in life. Because life itself is perishable. You're playing basketball and you're shooting free throws, and you have to line when the pressure's on you. If you don't constantly, when no one's watching, drill it, 1,000 buckets a day, when it matters, maybe you miss. If you're in the military, you're Delta Force or something. If you're not in the range firing thousands of rounds, well, then when you pull on a fire, maybe you're not putting one in the head, one in the chest. Maybe you're missing it. And maybe in that split second, it costs you your life. All these things eventually will be tested. You have the time right now to prepare them, to ensure the skills don't get spoiled like some fruit and fresh and easy. See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die, but our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever, but it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find an excuse. It's called the body weight beatdown. You don't need any weights for it. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need any barbells. You don't need any equipment. All you need is this motherfucker. That's your weight, your body weight. Last I looked, the person that finishes the race with their hand held isn't it about the, you know, how big they are, how tough they are, their potential. It's their perseverance. Meaning it's not about the dog that's in the fight. It's the fight within the dog.
Lock in on your dream, lock in, all right? That means you turn off the Twitter, get off the phone, stop gossiping, get off the corner, put the blunt down, lock in. That means, yo, you wanna go? No, I can't. I gotta stay here, I gotta lock in. No, no, I'm going to the library this Saturday. I gotta do some research on this business I wanna start. I want to know what it's going to really take for me to achieve that. I just want to talk, lock in.
Here's the idea why you're in a simulation. Let's start with acting, first of all.
And a 2-year-old screams at a restaurant, the entire restaurant screams. Teach that kid how to act. We're all unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write. Simulation, a 2-year-old jumps on a coffee table and someone says, that's a coffee table, don't jump on that. So it went from being something that makes him feel like Superman, he's got his cape on, to something where he has to think about this person's like a family member he doesn't like anyway. He's 2 years old, he doesn't think about a coffee or a table. And he's starting to like calculate all these things. And by the time you're 40 years old, you've got a wall full of coffee tables calculating you into traffic, calculating you into your career choice, calculating you into this townhouse that's not quite as big as the townhouse next, and it just never works. You know, that's the simulation that I'm talking.
But also, you know, maybe people don't want the kid to get hurt jumping on the coffee table.
We are too protective. We always don't want someone to get hurt. Can you imagine me talking to my publicist before I said I'm going on TV again? We get too caught up in the past and what everyone's saying and what everyone's tweeting. And sometimes you just have to be fearless enough to break the simulation.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. The middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. Often raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. Very, very pissed off.
It's 1 a.m. I'm going for my third workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, you know, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, you know, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
The number one question that I'm asked everywhere I go around the world is always, how is it that I stay so motivated? What are the motivating factors in my life that keep me in this psychological space? Number one will be gratitude. I try and find a way to be grateful for every single thing I have every single day. Wins, losses, loved ones, you name it. My life wasn't always this way. It was much different many moons ago. So these days I'm grateful to the bone for everything. The other thing is hunger. You always hear people say, well, it's about being number one, about being at the top. Or how about this? You're always going to find somebody out there who's going to work harder. Well, I don't know that. That might be bullshit. But I know no one is going to be hungrier than I am. And I try and find a way to be grateful. So I hope that helps. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. If you're watching this, you better be doing something.
Stay focused. Don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to nobody, homie. What's on your mind, just do it. It's what's destined for you, you gonna get it.
I will acknowledge the fact that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and to those who have brought me to this world and those who have trained me, and I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I am a champion! I will gradually go out to the field of battle, and I will move in everything I can do. And I will reach my field of battle at any means at my disposal. And when I get there, I will rise violently. I will rip the heart from my enemy and leave it bleeding on the ground, because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion! To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through me through thick and thin, through sacrifice, through blood, through sweat, through tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am a champion!
If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. If I start earlier, I can train more hours. And I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is. If I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier. My first class in high school was at 7:45. I used to get to the gym around 5 a.m. and I'd play before school, just me and my coach. And sometimes it would just be me and the janitor. But I'd play during lunch and then practice after, and then go home, do my schoolwork, and then watch a bunch of game film and games on TV and study. The mentality is a really simple one. The confidence comes from preparation.
The best feeling I ever had was when I got $100,000. A kid, when you come from nothing, from poverty, from nothing, and then you get a $100,000 check, because $100,000 at that particular time felt like $100 million. But once you receive a $100 million check and $50 million check on a regular, then it's just...
No, but what I'm saying, when you received that first one, because see, nobody had done that type of shit before.
The $100,000 feel better than $100 million. Because that was my first check.
You have to choose you first. Choose you.
Definitely.
Do not stay in a relationship and suffer in silence. Either you grow together or you grow apart. And that doesn't make you a bad person or the person you with a bad person. But you have to choose you. If you don't love yourself, you can never love anyone else because you don't love yourself. So the person that you with is just a Band-Aid to cover up what's going on with you internally. Until you figure those things out, that's the most painful thing, is being alone. No phone, no internet, no none of that. You have to be alone. You have to go through that process.
I seem to be occupying my job, though. As you often say, you're just a guy with a job. I have a job, though. So who would you fight next?
And guess what? Your job don't pay like my job.
Well, it depends.
Your job don't pay like my job.
That brings me to another point.
I can make $200 million in 18 months because I want to. Because I want to come back and steal some more money. Is that okay with you?
It's fine.
Well, it's that time of year again. We start to feel real happy. Why? Because we're not going to work. If you believe in Santa Claus and you celebrate Christmas, you're looking forward to Santa Claus coming down the chimney giving you some presents. It's a real good time of year. So in that good time of year, we start to feel real good about ourselves. So I start to feel great. So we start making promises to ourselves about, hey, I'm gonna lose some weight. I'm gonna do better in school. I'm gonna be better here, be better there. But guess what happens? The real Merry fucking Christmas happens when all of that noise is gone. It's quiet. And it's you against you. And now all those endorphins are gone. And I promise you made about getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight, study harder, guess what? It's a lot fucking harder now. That repetition becomes a lot harder now. So a lot of us can't do things on our own. So find somebody in your life. So when you throw that towel in, they throw that motherfucker back at you and say you're not fucking done yet. Stay true to yourself, stay hard.
You know, my father used to have an expression, to retire is to expire, which is a tough expression. But I've seen it. A banker, a big banker, tremendously powerful banker, a friend of mine, he had to retire at 65 a number of years ago. And he was a vibrant guy, a great guy, you would know him, a great guy, and very powerful. He could approve a $500 million mortgage or loan without even going to committee. That's not bad, okay? And he was forced to retire at 65. And I saw that man get old within a period of 1 year. It was like the most incredible thing. And I also saw him say to me, oh, well, when I retire, I have so many friends. I said, you'll have me as a friend, but you're not going to have a lot of people as a friend because a lot of people aren't going to call you back. And they all call you back right now, but they're not going to call you back. And he came to me about 3 weeks ago. He said, you know, you're the only one that calls me back and talks to me and goes, he said, all those other guys, New York developers mostly, I call them, they don't return my calls. They used to return my call before I made it.
5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I can feel my knuckle piercing against a tight leather glove. All during my training, I've been afraid of this man. I thought this man might be capable of beating me. I've dreamed of him beating me. But as closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god.
You've got to create a lot of different emotion to heighten your sense of awareness and focus. For me, anger was good. Anger was good because it was motivating. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys.
I never fucked anybody over in my life. Didn't have it coming. You got that? All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand?
Kobe Bryant. Yes. You worked out with him. What did you learn from him?
You gotta be simple. You gotta be simple. You gotta work on your craft again and again and again. You gotta think outside the box, and you always gotta be a kid. That's what he told me. I said, be a kid? What do you mean by be a kid? Like, you gotta mature, you gotta be a man. You know, so when you step on the floor, you gotta be a man. Like, show them that you're here. He said, no, what I mean by being a kid, he said, kid, use their fantasy. Like, you can see a kid being creative and playing with 2 rocks and playing around with them. And he said that when you're a kid, you always want to learn. You always want to learn. You ask questions. You ask questions every time. Why do I do this? Why am I sitting in the passenger seat? Why am I going to school today? Like, you always ask questions.
If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. That's a problem. You want players that are gym rats, players that want to be in the gym, that want to work. And then from there, you build on top of that. But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. You're going to make me feel dumber. You're going to lower my level. I don't think so. You can go over there. There's plenty of teams in here where you'll fit right in.
You mentioned...
At the time, they were right down the hall from us.
I had to stop giving a fuck about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have.
Yesterday I give you slab, Artyom, I give you slab. You eat this like a woman, like a baby. What happened now? Something changed?
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not gonna happen. Tell me it's gonna fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Literally, you can't even have a conversation with somebody nowadays because their minds are so out of it.
Or they're checking the Instagram.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, like you, like, hey, yeah, So they're like looking at you and their phone, and they're here, and then as you're having a serious conversation, an enlightening conversation, they then come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, did you hear about Trump?" You're like, "What the fuck is your problem, man? You can't hold a fucking attention span for longer than 15 seconds."
Yeah.
That's why you're not successful.
Yeah.
It takes a lot longer than 15 seconds to be focused on becoming rich, fucking becoming a better person, becoming smarter, becoming more athletic, losing weight. It takes time. Your mind needs to be focused on that fucking task.
Do you know, man, that you can actually mess your life completely up? You can jack it all the way up and you can turn around and get it right. Do you know that you can be divorced multiple times and still be okay? You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're gonna see exactly why it went that way. And you're gonna be okay with it. But quit tripping during the process. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Oh Lord, why he leave me? You ain't the first chick got left. This might not even be your last time getting left. Pull yourself together and quit tripping because you in the process. God is processing you. He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning.
Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your...
I was preparing for war, you know. I come inside the cage, I fight with this guy, and he tap. I'm like, why I come here?
When you entered the 5th round against Kelvin, you said, I'm ready to die.
I looked at him, and I remember, I call it Ese Diablo. He was looking at me, and he just had this like look, and he's just swinging his hands. And I said, you're not gonna beat me. I'm prepared to die. And I meant that, man. I swear to God on my life, I meant that. I signed my death warrant right there. I was like, look, if this is how I die, this is how I die. But you see me, I was trying to get it. For me, if I'm ready to die, I'm ready to kill. You have to be willing to give something up as well. If he had taken it to me, and if he had done that to me, and I didn't wake up, so be it.